So, I've played Gears 5 on Steam and I must say I'm pleasantly surprised by the amount of effort that developers put into the PC version of this game. Performance, available settings, built-in benchmark, crossplay with Xbox consoles. Seriously, Gears 5 on PC is an extremely well done game. I'm playing Steam version, so the first question that most people are asking about is how Xbox Live integration is implemented in this game. Basically, it's made on minimal possible level. You just need to log in with your Microsoft account for the first time you start the game, and then you'll never see it again. After login to your Microsoft account, the game will ask you to adjust the brightness and HUD save zone, set controls and other settings like subtitles and mature content, and then it will start a tutorial that you can skip if you want. Once you'll get into the settings menu, you'll see that it has an impressive amount of options. So many stuff to tweak, like minimum frame rate target, cinematic FPS limit and scaling mode, ambient occlusion and motion blur intensities, particle spawn rate, sharpening. Each option has a detailed description explaining what it does and even specifies which of your PC components it will affect performance-wise. You can even enable showing the detailed frame rate statics on the screen during the gameplay. And I'm not even talking about the other options like accessibility and mouse settings. Overall, it's an amazing PC version. The built-in benchmark actually represents the performance you'll get during the gameplay. Once you'll complete the test, it will provide you a detailed summary with performance graph, memory usage and separate average FPS for CPU and GPU. On my hardware, at 4040p resolution with ultra settings, I'm getting around 80 FPS average in campaign and above 100 FPS in online modes. Gears 5 is extremely well optimized and it looks absolutely great in motion. Last thing about technical stuff that I want to mention is surprisingly great integration with Steamworks. Gears 5 has Steam achievements, trading cards and cloud support, and achievements have properly implemented counters, so every time you pick up collectibles it shows how many of them you collected and how much left for achievement unlock. Seriously, what was the last time you saw the game where developer bothered enough to go that far with Steam achievements? Microsoft clearly cared, so they actually bothered properly enabling Steam features when they could have just put stripped down version of the game on different launcher. I mean, look at Ubisoft as an example. These guys didn't even bother to add Steam achievements in Far Cry 5 after so many years of releasing their games on Steam. Greedy bastards. By the way, Gears 5 is Win32 application, so modding is not possible due to the anti-cheat system and the fact it's very focused on online component. So I gave a try to almost every mode in Gears 5, and it looks like you can easily spend hundreds of hours in this game, especially if you are into multiplayer modes. You can play story campaign available for solo or with two friends, 4 types of PvP ranked modes, classic horde mode where you with other players trying to survive under the waves of enemies, and escape mode that is kinda like horde mode, but the only difference is that you need to run through the location to the exit point instead of defending one position. There is also map builder tools for creating custom maps, but I'm not considering it as a proper gameplay mode. I must say I never finished Gears of War games before. I played most of them briefly, but never finished any of them from the start to the end credits. But even with my very brief knowledge about previous games in this series, I'm having fun with Gears 5 so far. Campaign starts very strong and graphics looks great, so if you are into AAA junk food with rich cinematics and action-packed gameplay, you'll get plenty of that in this game. I'm not into online games and haven't played previous Gears games multiplayer, so I can't say much in this regard right now. Obviously, I got completely destroyed in my first versus matches, but once you get the basics, it becomes fun to play. I'm a sucker for point capture modes, and Gears 5 have a few of those. I also liked one map where you and your opponents can occasionally get killed by trains that randomly starts to go through the map when players are busy shooting each other. When that happened for the first time, I genuinely laughed. That was hilarious and unexpected moment. The remaining two modes are PvE focused, so you trying to survive as long as possible with other players. Horde mode locks you on a small arena and you have to endure as many waves as you can. Each character has its own set of skills and weapons, and you also can build turrets and traps to defend yourself better. Well, this mode is fine, but I find it weird that after each round you have to look at start screen for 50 seconds and can't see shit during that time, but actually can move and collect ammo. Why do you even need to look at this stuff for so long? Give me the ability to skip all this crap and focus on the game. Escape mode is more interesting because it's somewhere in between story campaign and horde mode. You pick a character with special abilities and try to blast your way through the mostly linear dungeons. There is a time limit that forces you to keep running forward, and unlike in horde mode, the amounts of ammo and weapons are very limited, so you always need to look for supplies and shoot more carefully. All this stuff can keep you occupied for a very long time. Full match in each of online modes can easily take from 30 to 16 minutes of playing. It's not surprising because Gears 5 positioning itself as live service game, so of course developers want players to constantly come back. As expected, DLCs with new content are planned, but they will be available for free for every buyer. Gears 5 doesn't have Season Pass, Ultimate Edition just includes XP boosters, exclusive cosmetics and 5 days early access for those who pre-ordered the game. There are microtransactions that you can use to buy some cosmetics, but seriously, considering it doesn't affect the actual gameplay and the fact there is no loot boxes and you can buy all the stuff you want directly, it's not a big issue. Like, if developers are going to support the game with free updates and maps, so they won't separate players with paywalls, it's a very tame and harmless way to do this. Of course, it could have been better if there was no microtransactions at all, but personally I don't mind them in this game. So, in conclusion, in terms of technical stuff, Gears 5 is one of the best PC games I've ever seen. Tons of options and excellent performance with customizable controls are killer combo. The PC version is really deserve all the praise. And the game itself is trying hard to justify its full price, with tons of quality content for all kinds of players. And it promises even more stuff later for free. I don't know how else I can convince you. If you are into that kind of games, I highly recommend you to get Gears 5 as soon as possible. Microsoft and the coalition really nailed it this time, and it's probably going to be one of the best games of this year, so don't miss it out.